Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Vince and today we are going to be diving into my sales script and sales process, and this is going to be really valuable for you guys and could make you probably like tens of thousands of dollars if you apply what I'm going to be going over in this video, because if I learned this earlier, well, I would be a lot better off. So hope you guys appreciate the fact that I'm putting this out for free on YouTube. Yeah, without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into it. So first of all, I want to clarify that I don't really use like a sales script. So I don't really just like read something off when I'm on a sales call word by word, because I just don't believe in that method anymore. Like sure, you know, back in the 90s, that's probably what worked when people were cold calling and just like saying the same exact line to every single person, no matter how they reacted. But I just don't think that's genuine, and I just don't feel like that creates trust anymore. So what I have instead of that, and what we teach to the students as well in the six-figure creative transformation program, is basically a process that you go throughout the sales call, and it's more like a step-by-step thing where you can still take the lead and still take, you know, a random person who doesn't know basically anything about you into a paying customer at the end of it. But it's not as like scripted out as you know, a word-by-word sales script, right? So here are a couple things I always like to do before a sales call. First one is just be in a quiet room with no distractions, right? You don't want to be taking your sales calls from your car while driving or you know, anything like that, because it's just simply like lowering your chances of getting a client by a ton. And also I just feel like it's disrespectful towards your prospects. But at the same time, you also want to make sure that the potential client who gets on the call is doing the same. Like you want them to be in a room with no distractions as well. So the respect has to be mutual. Just use headphones, guys. That way you can properly hear what the other person's saying and they can, you know, not hear themselves back. I prefer having a notepad in front of me so I can write down, you know, anything I might have to write down, whether it's just some quick notes or anything like that. Make sure you have a good internet connection and it's strong. You don't want to be that guy who, you know, just lags throughout the whole call and breaks up all the time. So don't do that. And also you want to quiet your mind for 3 to 5 minutes before every single sales call you take. At least that's what I prefer doing. So just sit down in your chair and take a deep breath. And do that a couple of times over, and you are going to be in a much calmer state. Obviously, as you do more and more sales calls, you kind of get used to it, so it's not going to be a big stressor after a certain point. But I remember when I was just getting started, I had so bad social anxiety that I could barely even get on a call and then talk to a customer or a potential customer. So I had to do that, and it helped me a lot. You also want to record the call so you can actually watch the call back and then basically analyze yourself so you can improve your sales skills and, you know, just get some feedback from it. I personally just record the call, and then if the person I'm on the call with says like, hey, it's not cool with me, whatever, then I will just delete it or stop it. I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, nowadays everybody takes Zoom meetings and everybody records stuff, so I think it's totally fine. Obviously, if you want to, just make sure that you ask them in the beginning whether you can record it or not. But I usually just say it while like before we even get on a call that it's going to be recorded, and like 99% of the time people are fine with it. So yeah. And last but not least, and I think this is the most important step to take before you get on the call, is to kind of like lose your emotional baggage from the day and lose the attachment from getting a yes on the call, and really just focus in on helping the client in whatever way you can. So you want to, I know it's hard to do, especially when you don't have any clients yet and you're struggling to pay rent or whatever, but the thing is, there is this saying that the hungry don't get fat, and basically that just means that if people can sense that you need their money, then basically they are a lot less likely to sign up with you. Whereas if they can feel that it doesn't really matter whether for you whether they sign up with you or not, it creates a lot more trust, because they know that it's not going to change your life whether they sign up or not. So even though you might not be in that space yet, you want to try to get yourself into that state of mind and mindset, because it's just going to improve your close rates quite a lot. So try to lose the need to get a yes, and just really focus in on helping that client. And if they are not a good fit, like, don't be afraid to turn down some clients, because that's the only way you can build something long term, by not taking on every single person who wants to give you some money, if they are going to be a pain in the ass, or you won't be able to deliver them results, right? Only take on someone if you know for a fact that you can most likely help them. Now, let's get into the actual sales goal. So the initial first few minutes for me is always just building trust, right? So it's building rapport. The goal, I like to say and tell them that the goal here on this call is to give clarity to them and to help, not necessarily to sign up, like not to get them to sign up if they are not a good fit, right? So yeah. And then also you can pre-frame a couple things here in the beginning of the call, so they don't come up as objections at the end. So pre-framing is basically just this point in the beginning of the call, before you even get to the end where you tell them the price and they have to decide whether they want to sign up or not. Before that, you kind of like ask them a couple questions, so those things don't come up as a surprise to you. And this way that you can kind of get them to prepare for like a couple of things as well, and it will just make your job a lot easier. So a couple of questions are, are they the only decision maker? So at the end of the call, are they able to make a decision basically whether they want to sign up with you or not? If they are not the only decision maker, then maybe consider scheduling the call when the decision maker can be also on the call, right? And then only two options. I like to say this as well. Either a yes or no. Don't accept a maybe, right? You don't want to get people to just tell you like, I'm not sure if I want to sign up. Like, I'm not sure if this is for me. I'm just going to do some, searching around, check out some of my competition. Like, no, it's better to get a clear yes or no at the end. And worst case scenario, you can just always give them a short, like, deadline on until when they can get back to you, right? But like in general, I really prefer either getting a clear yes or a clear no at the end of the call, because if you did a good enough job at explaining what whatever you're selling is to them, and you kind of went over all their questions, then basically there is no real reason to wait any longer and make both of your lives more complicated, right? And in this first part, I usually just do a couple minutes of small chat as well. Just ask them how they are doing, maybe talk about where they are from, like if you have any common hobbies or anything like that. It's great to just do a little bit of chatting, so it's not super awkward. That like usually if you get on a call and you just like go straight into business, like minute one, I think it's a little awkward sometimes. So this can help really break that, up. Next part is ask them about what's their goal, right? Why did you get on this call with me today? Now, this is a really good way to dig up some important information here that you can use at the end when handling objections. So basically just the fact that they took the time out of their day to get on this call with you and put this effort into this call means that they want something from you, right? So you want to get them to say what they actually want. And that way, first of all, you can get that kind of leverage. Like if they want what you're selling already, that's putting you in a great position. And also, if they want something that's completely different from what you're selling, you can save a lot of time for both of you guys, because you can just tell them like, hey, look, that's not really what I help people with, so I would say let's end this call here, right? So there's that. Next stage is kind of defining their current state. So you want to really understand where they are at right now with their business or whatever kind of service you're selling. So if you're selling like personal coaching or like fitness coaching or whatever it might be that you're actually selling, you first want to find out where they are at right now, what are the biggest struggles they are facing, and what are the obstacles that they are trying to find solutions for. And then after that, you define where they want to go basically. And then what you're selling should be the bridge and the thing that, kind of removes the gap between the two. You're basically, whenever you're selling almost anything, you're selling to get the person to the point where they want to be, right? Like there is always this gap between their current reality and what they want their reality to be, and your product or service should be the aid and the solution to get them there, right? So I hope that kind of made sense. So yeah, just ask them genuine questions and really try to find out as much as possible about what they are struggling with and where they are currently at right now. Then you want to define their desired state. So basically just find out more about where exactly they want to go, and ask specific questions regarding the service. So you don't want to ask just like general things about like, oh, where do you want to, if you're selling, for example, content creation or social media help, like don't ask them about like their marriage and like their fitness stuff, because yeah, those are all important things, but that's not really what you're here for on the call. You want to ask them about where they want their social media to be and what kind of content they want to be making and what kind of revenue they want to be doing with their business from social media, right? I know it sounds like very common sense, but I just wanted to clarify that. And all these questions I have here are just kind of like template questions, because you really need to customize these for your own offer that you have. So if you don't have an offer yet and you want to like find out how you can actually build out your offer and how you can package your knowledge into at least a 3 to 5K offer that you can start selling to people, then that's something we help people with at Clients for Creatives. So if you're interested in that, fill out like an application below in the description. And if you are a good fit, I will get on a call with you personally and help you with this problem and see if you are a good fit for our program, right? But anyways, let's get back into it. So after this, you want to just restate the situation, and you want to kind of like examine their pain and define the gap between the two states, right? So you want to make sure that you are a good listener, and if you struggle at that, and if you are a really bad listener, then that's something you need to improve on, because 90% of the talking on a sales call should be done by the prospect, and you should only do like 10% of the talking, sorry. So yeah, basically after you ask them all these questions and they told you all about their current situation and where they want to go, you just want to kind of restate that. So that can be something like, okay, so just so I properly understand, you're currently here and you want to get there, and this is what you need to do, right? And this is so powerful, because the main factor that drives people to buy something is basically the feeling of being understood. And you want to make people feel like you exactly understand their pain and their problem. And only then can you offer a proper solution for them. And, this doesn't, like, I know this all sounds like just a plan and just something where you're playing with human emotions, but you really want to understand how human psychology works in sales, but actually be genuine about it. So you can use this stuff for unethical selling as well, but I highly encourage you guys to stay on the bright side and only sell things that actually help people and actually provide more value than what you ask for it, right? But yeah, after you stated their pain, or kind of like just retold them what they already told you, then you want to ask for permission to present your offer. So I just like to usually ask, because I think it's more polite, like, hey, okay, so I think I completely understand your problem now. Are you fine with me telling you about what I think I could help you with in this case, right? Like, are you fine with me presenting my offer to you? And then they are going to be 99% of the time like, yeah, sure, I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to offer, right? So then after that, you want to kind of, tell them about your program. So by program, I also mean like any creative services you have, or coaching, or whatever. You want to package whatever you're selling into an offer that can be, a 3-month, 6-month, even 12-month offer. That's the way I like to do it, and I think that's what works best in today's climate. But yeah, and then obviously after you went over the program and went over the main selling points of what you have to sell, I also after that like to ask if they have any questions, right? So you want to make sure that they fully understand what they are getting, and then after that they are naturally going to ask you like, okay, so how much does this cost to get started with it? And then you want to state the price, tell them like, hey, this is how much it costs. If you want, you can pay in split payments if you offer that, whatever. And then you want to shut up. Just don't justify your price, because that makes you look weak and untrustworthy. Like, just say your price and then stick with the silence, and let the client or the potential client break the silence for you, because that puts you in the position of power, right? So yeah, after that, they are either gonna be like, awesome, let's move forward with it, right? Sounds really good to me. And in that case, they are a good fit. So after that, you just, send them the invoice, they pay it, and sign the contract, and then you guys can get started working together. Congratulations, you just signed a client in that case. Or most of the time, or a lot of the time at least, they are gonna be like coming up with a couple of objections on why like, you need to identify the difference between genuine questions and objections. So an objection is basically when they come up with kind of like an excuse for why they don't want to sign up, or why they are not sure about signing up. And a question is genuinely just like they are not sure about how something works in the program, or they want to know something. You need to treat these two things a little bit differently. So with the questions, you just answer them, and that's all. And then with the objections, you kind of need to usually ask a question back, and really just try to get them to understand the situation better. So I'm not going to go into the objection handling now, because that's another probably like 15-20 minutes. But if you're interested about getting the objection handling kind of like script as well, what you can do is join our free Facebook group below, and then inside that I will post the objections as well. But you will only get accepted if you properly fill out all the questions there. So we don't want people in there who just like want to make a quick buck online, and they don't pay attention to the details and that sort of stuff. So only like do any of those two things if you are serious about building a creative business online. So hope you guys found some value in this, and let me know what you thought about this style of video. It's kind of new for me, but overall I really enjoyed it. And yeah, let me know what videos you guys want to see in the future as well in the comment section down below. And book in a call if you're interested in getting help with growing your creative business. And I will see you guys in the next one.